The Knicks blew it again in the second half. What do we expect? Let's go. What's poppin', Knicks fans? It's your boy. I'm here. And what do we expect? We know what's going to happen. We always know what's going to happen with these New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? The tank game is pretty strong right now. Pretty strong. Proud of the effort. Shamik, you said you're proud of the effort, even in defeat. I guess we can take some solace in that, right? They played well in the first half. Scored 68 points in the first half. You know, that was a change. But, of course, the Knicks aren't good enough to keep that up. You know what I'm saying? James Willie, you said, good loss, we're in tank mode. I guess so. You know what I'm saying? I guess we're in tank mode. But at some point, just to feel good, you know, get a win. But, hey, it is what it is. You know, Frank got 13 minutes. Ridiculous to me. Ridiculous to me. Very ridiculous to me. You know, regardless of, you know, wins or losses, 13 minutes, you know, just like what Clyde Frazier and Mike said, you know, from here on out, Frank should be getting 30 minutes a game. Play the man, let him play. There's no reason not to. If you're going to win, if you're going to lose, there's no reason not to. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe Frank did something that he doesn't like, that he didn't like. In practice or whatever. Who knows? But it started with the last game, right? Got 16 minutes, 13 minutes tonight. Dotson barely got any burn. You know, he played guys like he wanted to win the game. Played guys like he wanted to win the game. And still lost the game. Come on now. Come on. Come on. I mean, come on, man. It's not that hard, Jeff. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to understand. We're not going to win games. You know what I'm saying? We're not a good team. I would like to get one. I would. But I want to get it with the young guys. I don't want to get it with the old guys. I'd like to get a win. I'm not going to lie about it, but I don't want to get it with the old guys. I want to get it with the young guys. I want to see the young guys get a win. I want to see the young guys get their confidence boosted because they got a win and they pulled out a good win. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. Jay Byrne, I'm not saying that Frank did anything. I was just posing a question, just saying maybe Frank did something. Maybe Frank did something. I don't know. Because I can't understand why he's not playing, not getting that burn. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of anything else that's happening, Dotson, Ntilikina, Troy Williams. It's almost laughable. It's not almost laughable. It is laughable. It's just, it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's straight up a joke. Let's recap this. Our biggest lead, we held a 13-point lead in the first half. Right? 13-point lead. Scored 68 points in the first half. We shot 51.7% from the field. Still only shot 25% from three. We really need some three-point shooters. Some people that can knock one down. You know what I'm saying? Just in today's NBA, you're not going to win if you don't have three-point shooters. That's just the facts. That's just how it is. If you don't have three-point shooters, you're not winning. You need three-point shooters to spread the floor. That's the way the game is played today. You got to have them because teams now can shoot. Teams can average 40 to 44% from three. You know what I'm saying? And so that means if you're not a team that can shoot from three, then for a good portion of the game, you're trading twos for threes, and two is never going to be more than three. So we've got to we need some 3-point shooters out there. We need some people that can knock it down from three. Not shooters. We need 3-point makers. How about that? Not shooters. You can get shooters anywhere. You need makers. 62.5% from the line. That's ridiculous. Philly didn't do much better, but they still went to the line 34 times. Still, you got to make more than 62.5% of your free throws, man. You're professional NBA players. Knock them joints down. Knock them down. We got out-rebounded tonight. 53-44 on the boards. Of course, Philly is, they're a big team, obviously. 26 assists. Philly had 29 assists. We had 8 steals. We tied for steals. Both had 8 steals. 4 blocks to 3 blocks for Philly. And we only had 12 turnovers tonight. Philly had 14. It was a game that we could have had. But, of course, down the stretch, we don't have the type of players that can pull it out. We don't have smart players. We don't have the kind of grit. We don't have the kind of intensity. Like Breen and Frazier said the whole game. In the second half of every game, teams pick up the intensity and we can't handle it. We can't handle it. But let's take a look at let's just take a gander at the minutes distribution. Not Philly. We'll go to New York. Let's look at the starting 5. Hardaway, 34 minutes. Michael Beasley, 33 minutes. Cantor, 23 minutes. Courtney Lee, 37 minutes. Emmanuel Mudiay, 27 minutes. It's like we were fighting for a playoff position. Listen, I can understand if you want to see if your team is at a point where you can compete against a playoff team and maybe even beat a playoff team. I can understand that. But if you're in a situation like we're in, because we have veterans that probably aren't going to be the future of this team, and then you have young guys that most likely will be the future of this team. See if you can win it with the young guys. Try to win it, but try to win it with the young guys. Let them get the confidence. Courtney Lee don't need the confidence. He don't need 37 minutes. Unless he was crying and complaining. Like Cantor was complaining about not playing in the fourth quarter. My man Kareem the other day said that Jeff Hornacek was a yes man. We heard complaints from Courtney Lee. We heard complaints from Cantor. Maybe he's right. Maybe Jeff Hornacek really is just a yes man. Maybe Jeff Hornacek is afraid to say no. Afraid to stand up for himself. Lee was complaining a little bit about the intensity of the players on the floor. That's what he was complaining about, Joe White. He was complaining about, players not playing an intense game. Not playing with the type of energy that you need to win. So maybe Jeff Hornacek, maybe he agreed with him and said, okay, now you do it. We'll see. Siobhan Robinson, appreciate the super chat, bro. And I didn't get to say it last chat. I hope that your wife is okay. Hope everything is fine. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you even coming on that night. But if it was me, I wouldn't have came on, man. I would have been rushed to the hospital and everything. But you said, so I appreciate that, and I hope everything is okay at home. Jeff said, I'll be back next year with confidence. That's what Siobhan says. Yeah. I did read that Jeff Hornacek said, he wasn't worried about next year and that he thinks he'll be back. He hadn't heard any different. You know what I'm saying? He may be back. He may be back. I feel like he's not doing the things to keep his job, but I also do believe that Scott Perry may want to give him a chance. You know what I mean? If it was me, I'd let him go. I'd let him go. As soon as the season was over, I'd let him rock. Kick rocks, bro. You got to go. Peace out. You know what I'm saying? And I would go on a serious coaching search and try to bring in a coach before the draft. Because what I would really hate for Scott Perry to keep Jeff Hornacek around, keep him through the draft like we did with Phil. And then when we get into this the summer or whatever it is, fire Jeff Hornacek and go in another direction. If you're going to go in another direction, you got to do it before the draft. That way, that coach can have some input on who you draft. That coach can participate in some of the drafting interviews and those type of things. So if you're going to do it, you got to get it done. And get it out the way. Bring in the coach that you want to bring in and then embark on your strategy on how you're going to proceed forward. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Scott Perry is smart enough, intelligent enough to know that. So if Jeff Hornacek isn't gone within a few days, a week or so after the season ends, then I would believe that he's going to be around. And he'll be here next year. That's what I think. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen right away. So let's look at some stats from the night. Tim Hardaway, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Didn't have a great game. Didn't do much. I'm not going to scream at him or holler at him, though, because he's actually played well lately. And he still didn't shoot crazy, wild shots. He just had an off night. It's going to happen. Michael Beasley had one of his nights. 24 points, 11 for 16 from the field, 13 rebounds and 7 assists. Almost a triple-double. Cantor complained about not playing in the fourth, but he did not produce in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? He didn't produce in the fourth. Hey, if you're gonna complain about something, when you get your chance, you gotta make it happen. Now I can guarantee you the next game, Cantor's not gonna be there in the fourth quarter. He had his chance to make it happen, and he didn't make it happen. Courtney Lee, 37 minutes, 16 points, 1 rebound. You expect that from Courtney Lee, right? He's gonna score. Moutier, 12 points, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals. He shot 41.7% from the field. He didn't play bad. He had a couple of gaffes out there. You know what I'm saying? But, that's cool. Trey Burke has 16 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 25 minutes he played. Kylo Quinn, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Isaiah Hicks, we can send him back. I'm not a fan of his at all. We'll send him back. Troy Williams got no burn. Luke Cornett got no burn. Jarrett Jack no burn. Damian Dotson got 6 minutes. And Frank played 13 minutes. No points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. I see no reason why Luke didn't play. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about Isaiah Hicks and Luke Cornett, You only have so many games that they can play. Now, maybe they've already, you don't have to worry about it anymore. But because they only have so many games that they can play on the NBA roster, when they're up, you might as well play them right now. Now, I haven't really kept count on how many games they have left to play. But so what? Play them. I don't know about Hicks. I don't think Hicks is going to do anything for us. You know what I mean? I don't care too much for the guy. I don't think he's worth anything. At least not right now. Maybe he can develop some more and be good someplace else. I don't think he's going to fit with us. I don't think he's that guy. So there we go. Another bonehead crazy job by Jeff Hornacek. Nobody knows what he's doing. I don't understand what he's doing. I understand when you got to change your strategy. But when you change your strategy, at least have another strategy and be able to explain what that strategy is. I don't think he has explained it or can explain it or even knows what it is or even knows what he's doing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This should be an extended tryout for some players, an extended preseason. So that we can really start picking and choosing players that we want to move forward with. And I don't think, players, you have some players that you already know who they are. Courtney Lee is 32 years old. He's not changing his game. You know what he is. Michael Beasley, he's 28 years old. He's probably not changing his game. But I know I'm preaching to the choir. I do. And, we've been here before. Every game, we're here. It'd be nice to have a new narrative to talk about when we get on here. You know what I'm saying? A new narrative. A win would have been a new narrative. We've lost 17 of 18. And it goes even further than that. But 17 of 18, that's pretty deep, bro. Pretty deep. So that's a recap of the game. Let's talk about the tank standings. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. The Chicago Bulls won. Game went down to the wire. I didn't watch the game, but in the last few seconds, Memphis took a lead, and then Chicago took the lead back. They won 111-110. And because the Knicks lost to the Philadelphia 76ers and the Chicago Bulls beat the Memphis Grizzlies, the New York Knicks have moved ahead of the Chicago Bulls in the tank standings. So there you go. The Knicks are now 8th. And because they're 8th, Tankathon has the Knicks now taking Wendell Carter, which I disagree with. I do not think they're going to take a power forward. I think it's going to be a wing player, not a power forward. I still think that they take Mikal Bridges. Or one of the Bridges, or one of the Bridges. I think it'll be Mikal, though. So Tankathon has him there. But the Knicks have moved ahead of the Chicago Bulls. Let's look at the full order. Well, not here. We're going to move on to something. Well, I was looking for something different. But anyway, now, can they catch Dallas? That's the question. Now, can they catch Dallas? You got the lottery odds. The Knicks have a 72.4% chance of getting that 8th spot, as you see. A 2.8% chance of getting that 1st spot. 3.3% chance of getting the 2 spot. 3.9% chance of getting the 3 spot. Doesn't look like they have a chance of getting the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th. They have no percent chance of falling out of the top 10. They have a slight chance of moving down to number 10. So here we are. And I really do hate to do this, man, because you guys know me. I'm all about trying to win as much as I can, even if you're winning. If you're winning with the young guys, you know what I mean. I hate to lose. Losing is just not in my DNA, But here we are, and there we are, you know. That's the standings right now. The Knicks move up to the 8th spot, and they're charging real hard to try to get up into that top 5. They really are charging. With what we see them doing, they are charging. And they're charging hard and fast. You know what I mean? They are really trying to get into that top 5, maybe top 3. Could be pretty hard for them to get into that top 3, but maybe top 3. Embrace the tank. I can't embrace the tank. I can only accept it. Childhood, for real. I can only accept it. I can't embrace it. It's not in my DNA to try to lose. It's only in my DNA to try to win. You know what I'm saying? So I can't embrace the tank, but I'll accept it. It's what we're doing. And I guess it's what we have to do. That's what the pundits say. That's what people say. That's what we have to do. So, it is what it is. Jose Mendez, appreciate the super chat, my brother. You said the Knicks will get screwed by ping pong balls. And why isn't the front office mandating for Hornacek to play the kids? Well, I think it's one, we don't know what they talked about, right? We don't know what front office and Jeff Hornacek have discussed as far as the remainder of the season. And they're not going to come out and say, let's tank. We're tanking. We're going to lose on purpose. They're not going to come out and say that. Or they might get slapped with a fine. And then I think it is just, I don't think it's good business for the front office to demand a coach to do anything as far as playing players. That's my opinion. Because if you do that to Jeff Hornacek now, then that's a good job. That's a good, CP the artist. I might do that. I can't accept the tank. Yeah, I'm with that. I might do that too. But I think it's bad business. It's not a good look for the front office to tell any coach how to play the players or who to play. And I think if you do that, then you're going to turn away a lot of coaches. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have coaches that say, no, I don't want to play for them because I'm not going to accept the front office telling me who to play. When I'm the coach, I'm the one that's in practice. I'm the one that's developing the system, developing the plan, night in and night out. You're not here with me. It's got to be the coach and the coach's staff that decide who's going to play and when. No doubt the front office needs to have input because, the front office, they've got to make the trades and they've got to go get players and those things like that. You know what I mean? But I just don't think it's a good idea or a good look for the front office to tell coaches when to play players, who to play, and things like that. Yeah. And, that's what Phil Jackson did. He did it with Derek Fisher. He did it with Jeff Hornacek. And, that probably turned away a lot of coaches. And good coaches aren't going to deal with that. I think what you do is if your coach isn't performing the way that you think they should perform, you talk to them at the end of the season, or you let them go and bring in somebody that you believe has the same philosophy as you. But then you let that coach go and you let the coach do what he does. So I understand your question, and I understand what you mean, but I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you set that. I don't think you make that a standard, or you're going to chase coaches away. So now, when you look at the overall standings, the Knicks are now 12th in the East. They're now 12th in the East at 24-45. Dallas is currently 22-46. It is plausible, extremely plausible, that they catch Dallas. Seriously, the Knicks may not win again this season. Seriously. Obviously, it's clear that Jeff Hornacek has tried and is trying to win some games. And I'm not going to lie, I would like to see a win just for team morale. But I don't know if they're going to win the remainder of the season. We're definitely a horrible team. You know what I'm saying? We're a bad team. We're just terrible. We don't do much right on the court. We don't do much right. We're offensively, we're erratic. Defensively, we're not smart. We don't have a coach that can make adjustments. You put those pieces together, and you're gonna lose. You're gonna be a loser. You're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be a losing team. So we're moving up in the tank standings fast. We have, what did we have? 20. We've played 69 games. We have 13 games left to the season. So, we'll probably go down in peril and go down in fire these 13 games. So, I'm ready for some call-ins, man. Ready for some call-ins. I want to hear what you guys talking about. Hear what you guys thinking. I know who Mark has something to say. You know what I'm saying? Who's Mark has something to say. So go ahead and call in, my brother. Let's hear what you got cooking for us tonight. Now, because it's frustrating for some, a good night for others. You know what I mean? Let me see. Childhood, you said, Simi, you had me thinking the other day regarding your comments about KP's current trainers. I watched the videos he posted of his workouts this summer, and a lot of those drills seemed weak. I agree with you. I kind of agree with you on that. Some of his workouts seemed, they didn't seem to be going as intense. There's some things that I thought maybe he could have did better. He could have worked out. His trainers could have had him do things a little bit more crisp. So we'll see. I hope that his brother is a good trainer. I really do. Hope his brother's a good trainer, and he can bring Porzingis along. You know what I mean? My man Mark. What's popping, brother? Can you turn that down a little bit in the back? I can hear it some.
What's going on, chat? What's going on, Simeon?
What's up with you, bro?
Yo, you ever just sit back and watch the next game and be like, here we go. It's like I said, that offense that we run is so efficient. But when it comes to the third, I don't know what it is with the third quarter, where they just come out like they're not in the game anymore. I'm not saying tonight, but it's like they lose confidence when they don't make shots, and when other teams make shots, they go right back into like this one-on-one mode. Like the first half today, the first half of the third quarter, they're moving the ball like how you're supposed to move the ball, and then when they up, they get into this one-on-one save your ball. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I'm sitting there and I'm watching them. I said, number one, I knew Philly was going to come back. I just felt it. Just watching Knicks game, if you're a Knicks fan, you just know it. Like you just feel a jolt in you. Like, Here comes this team and watch they make the run. And it's like they go into savior mode. They take dumb shots. It's like they scared of playing again, and they just get delirious. They get delirious. And like I said, you can't put Beasley on the floor. And like I said, Cantor, he acts to play crunch time. This is why you don't put him on the floor, because this kid cannot play defense. He's good enough, but he in crunch time he cannot stay on the floor. I would love for him to stay on the floor, but he can't play defense.
Right.
It's really bad.
Right.
Like it's really, really bad.
Yeah, he can't guard on the perimeter. You see, he was out there in the fourth quarter, and Joel Embiid, he basically walked around him to the basket.
Yeah, that was just, man. Because I was like, it's funny. I wanted them to win tonight because I was feeling good because they up. And it's just, it pisses you off because it's like, well, another night blown because y'all could have won the game. There was so many games this season where it's games like we are up. It's so many games I could name. And it's like, boom, it happens again, over and over and over and over again. And you know why this happens over and over and over again? Because we don't have a single player that draws gravity. And these teams these teams play man-to-man defense on our players because they're not we don't have the players that draws enough gravity offensively that teams are afraid of. They're not afraid of us. Right. No team is afraid of us. If you watch how teams play us, they're not afraid of us. Now, this breaks down into what I want to really, really speak about. I know I came in a couple of days, said I want Mikal Bridges. Listen, I still will take him. He's still on my board.
Okay.
If we stay between 8 and 9.
Okay.
If anybody watched Trae Young play today, he played with bona fide high schoolers. Like, he probably had the worst college roster I've ever seen in college history.
He cooked.
These kids could not shoot the ball. They couldn't do any. They couldn't do nothing. It was dead ass 1-on-5 today with Trae Young.
Yeah, Trae Young had 28 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 9 for 18 from the field. He was cooking, man.
Listen, he had no help. Like, listen, he played with bona fide bums, like literally bums. Like, I don't know how they got into college. Bums. But I never seen. I watched college today. I said,
DirecTV now.
This is why people don't watch college basketball, because it's players like this. Like, it's like you have this one star. You have this one star, and he's surrounded by bums, and people expect Trae Young to carry that look. It's not so much. If at least one player on that team can hit a shot, no one could shoot. Not one person on that team besides Trae Young could shoot the ball. Now, this is what I'm loving. When I'm watching Trae Young, did you see how that team guarded him today?
They got some highlights of Trae Young up right now. So
listen, that is the gravity. That is the gravity the Knicks need. Okay. And when I'm watching him, what I love about him, the number one thing, the ball does not stay in his hands as a guard. Right. He's looking to pass. If y'all watch him, he's looking to pass first every time. It's almost like Lonzo Ball, where it's like it's hockey assist. It's making other players make plays for the team. But due to the fact that he's playing with scrubs, but it's that gravity that the Knicks need to break down defense. Even he just him playing a high pick and roll. It made me smile because it's Steph Curry-ish. That's the same defense that Cleveland played on Steph Curry 2016 finals, where they just that team was blitzing thing to Trae Young today. But that's the same defense that teams try to play on Stephen Curry, but due to the fact that he got other shooters, Lord Jesus Christ, you surround Trae Young with some shooters, boy, in a bona fide player, and he, I swear to God, it's like when Steph Curry, that draft Steph Curry, we could have had him. Listen, man.
So
I like
so
Mikal Bridges, but this point guard right here, this point guard right here, man. He's
so
what the Garden need, man.
so what you telling us is not. What you telling us is that you like to see the Knicks go ahead and get Trae Young.
Yeah, because it's that gravity and it's the hockey assist. Because I watched Alonzo Ball the other night, and it's like he's low key quick. If y'all watch him, he's low key quick. Wait till he really figure it out, because he's really good for what he is right now. He plays good defense. People are sleeping on it. It's the hockey assist that you get from the pass.
Okay.
You get from the pass.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. You're right.
And it's you surround him with shooters, man, and you surround him with another player that can score with him. But due to the fact that you could run a high pick and roll, and it's going to guarantee there's going to be a double team or a blitz coming. But he lets the ball go, though. He makes the smart passes. When I'm watching him, he's making the smart passes. He's making the smart pass of the pick and roll, and he's creating havoc. I'm seeing how teams are making sure he does not get the ball, and that's the type of defense you want teams to play when you want to get offense, because we don't have no players that a team fears, none whatsoever. That's why teams just play man to man and they just destroy us physically.
Okay.
I like Mikal Bridges, but listen, man, that point guard, man, it'll be hard to really not take him, and he's really gonna land. He's gonna land where we might be.
So right now, Tankathon has Trae Young going around 5.
No, I doubt it.
Going around 5.
I doubt it, because I seen a mock draft the other night. I seen a mock draft. Teams are afraid of him because, number one, he sort of flamed out, and then he's small at that. But I feel like he could get bigger, but that doesn't stop me, because Kyrie Irving's like the same height as him, and that doesn't stop Kyrie Irving.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
He's gonna be around like 7 and 9, because people still gonna take Michael Porter Jr. just because of that back, but he's a wing. Because he has that back injury, but teams are still going to take him because he's a bona fide scoring wing. If you watched him play when he came back, he's a bona fide scoring wing.
Well, they got Michael Porter going over Trae Young, so we'll see what happens with Trae Young. See if he drops in the draft. I don't know if he's going to drop.
Yeah, but let me ask one more thing before I go. We need to. Moutier is really a bum. Like, he's the reason why we lose games too, because he's not.
He still got time though, but he's 21. He's got time. He's 21 years old. He's got time.
Yeah, no, he's still got time. But if we could get something for him, because there's another guy in the second round. He might go early, and he's a wing. Mm-hmm. He's a wing. Like, I think he's like 6'11". He's a wing that could break down defense. I'm looking to get rid of whatever piece that we can get rid of and make them into picks and go right into that second round, because that second round has nothing but 3-and-D athletes coming out. Okay. Next time I come on, I'm going to have the names for y'all, and y'all are going to agree with me. Number one, them kids that play with Ayton, them wings that play with Ayton, they are horses. They are horses. And this other kid, I think he plays for Miami. I'm not too sure. He's some light-skinned dude. I forgot his name, man. He's like a tree trunk. It's like a tree trunk. And I'm just thinking, like, look, we could go get Trae Young, because I feel like you put that boy in the Garden. Man, it's like, just imagine if you had Steph Curry in the Garden. Mm-hmm. Just imagine that.
All right. Well, we'll see what's going to happen. Mark, we got some other people that's trying to call in. I appreciate the call.
But we need gravity. We need to play that really demands gravity. And he has gravity, man. The way teams just make sure he doesn't get the ball, or he don't shoot that 35-footer. That is what you want. I don't care what nobody says. But if we fall to get Mikal Bridges, I would be damn happy also. But if Thing was first pick, I'm taking him.
All right, no doubt. Well, Mark, I appreciate the call and the insight.
And people, stop with this
All
Kevin
right.
Knox. He's
All
inconsistent,
right.
man.
All right. I appreciate the call and the insight, man. I'm gonna let you rock off, but stay on the chat. But
All
hey, but you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna build us a board. We're gonna build us a draft board.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep that draft board up, and we're gonna add to it every show. We're gonna build us a draft board. I'm gonna try to have that ready for Saturday. All right. Peace out, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, man. All right. My man Tony Crow, you on? I can't hear him. Well, anyway, like I was saying, we are going to build a draft board, folks. We're going to build us a draft board. We're going to build us a draft board. And, we're going to follow, what some of these, what's going on and see what our draft board says and then see what happens, when we get to, when we get into the draft. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, Oklahoma did lose to Rhode Island today. They lost to Rhode Island in overtime, 83-78. You know what I'm saying? So and it's kind of unfortunate for those who would like to see Trae Young play because, you're not going to get to see what he could have done deeper in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to see if his stock would have went up, if his stock would have went down. You know what I mean? Because, well, he's he's gone, he's done. You know what I mean? But Tony, I think you might need to call back, man, because I think it looks like it froze up. So I'm gonna close this out. Give me a call back. All right, because it froze up. But so there we go, and we're going to talk a little bit more about March Madness and watch some of the guys that, we think could be New York Knicks in the future. But before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about transformative development. Let's go on to that transformative development. I'm sure you guys seen the story about Craig Robinson. Yeah. What's up, Tony? Tony, what's popping, bro? I don't know if your video's coming up, but can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? How you feeling today? I think there you go. Yeah, we having some a little bit of issues with it, Tony.
I think we got a bad connection.
Yeah, we got a bad connection going on right now. I think you're good now, though.
Yeah. I hear you clear now.
Yeah, but yours is you're a little bit good. So what's popping with you, man? You got me?
Ain't nothing, man. I just caught the end of the game. I'm glad we lost, but I don't know how we lost.
Yeah, you don't know how we lost, right? Right.
Yeah. We had that one.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think we moved to the eighth seed, right?
We moved up to the 8th spot. Yeah, we moved up to that 8th spot. Yeah. So now we're in that 8th spot. We're just a couple of games below Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible, it's entirely plausible that we can catch Dallas and move up to that 7th spot. I mean, right now, man, we tanking strong.
Yeah,
you know
honestly, man.
We taking strong.
I think we the way. I think we're gonna get the ping pong balls in our favor regardless. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. I mean,
we lost spots two or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
It's about time we move up.
And I mean, but nothing's ever guaranteed, man. Like, when we got KP, we were the number 2. We were slated to have the number 2 draft pick. Ping pong balls bounce funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They bounced funny, and we ended up with the 4th pick. Luckily for us, we did, because we probably would have took Okafor if we had that number 2 pick. You know what I'm saying? And then we would have been,
Yep.
you know, caught out there with him. So
Yep.
you know that actually worked in our favor. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people scream and complain and say, "Oh, if we would have not beat Philly or whatever it was, or you know whoever it was didn't hit that last second shot, we would have had the first seed." But still, it's no guarantee that we would have kept that first seed. You know what I'm saying? That we would have kept that first draft pick. Somebody, you know, I mean, I know Minnesota was slated to be the #1 pick that year, and they got it. But everything changes. You know, once you get a different amount of ping pong balls in there for a different team or whatever happens, or maybe that ping pong ball that popped up for Minnesota had a chip in it. You know what I mean? So the weight was a little bit different. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just never know. Yeah. So, you know, it's a lottery. That's why it's called a lottery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good wherever we get, man. Honestly, it's so many good players.
Right.
Like and yeah, we're gonna be good regardless. As long as we don't make an epic mistake in who we choose.
Yeah.
And honestly, even there's some great point guards. But I honestly don't think that's the route. I think we should stick with a small forward or a center.
I do too.
Because even the best point guard in the tournament or whatever, I don't think he's the biggest game changer. You know what I mean? As far as these bigs and these forwards, they looking legit. They looking like there's gonna be a couple of all-stars out this draft.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good draft. And so it's like when I mean, it's deep, so you're gonna be able to find players. You know what I mean? What I would like to see, you know, really, instead of, let's say we get that eighth seed, that eighth spot, you know, instead of trying to move up, I'd like to see us package something and try to get another first round draft pick somewhere, if it's possible. You know what I'm saying? To maybe walk out of here with two first round draft picks, even if it's a little bit lower. You know, or you know, if we get 2 first round draft picks and maybe even pull in another second rounder. You know what I mean?
If it's something where we're not moving, I wouldn't move. If we're 8, I wouldn't move lower than 10. Honestly, like I think there's a legit.
I'm not talking about moving our picks. I'm talking about trying to move some other players, maybe coupling some other players to try to get a first round.
Move down, and get another pick.
Nah, I'm talking about no. I'm gonna stay where we're at. I'm saying if there's a way we can move a player to get a real low draft pick.
Package the second with like Lee or something.
Or something and get a low first rounder. You know what I'm saying? And because you can buy a second. You know what I'm saying? You can buy a second. You know, I'd like to try to get into that first round again. Have 2 picks in the first round. But I want to keep our spot and keep our pick.
Oh, okay.
You know, I want to keep our pick.
Nah, he definitely got it. But there's definitely a few teams that have 2 first rounders right now.
Right.
And I mean, if the ping pong balls fall right, I wouldn't mind. Like if somehow we get the 3rd pick, but we got an opportunity to go move down and get the 8th and the 18th. Because I forget 2 teams they are. But I would do something like that.
You would do it? That'd be chancy. That would be chancy. I mean,
it is, but if we happen to move up the spots and we going back to where we originally was,
that's true. Right. You get lucky, then you say, well, we're going back to where we was. That's true. You know what I'm saying? It'd be chancy, though.
There's a legit 2 teams. I forget which 2 teams, though. I hit you with it. But there's 2 teams that have like high first round and like mid first round picks.
Yeah. It would be chancy, but it would always be something to think about. You know what I'm saying? I think if you're a general manager, you have to consider everything. Everything that comes across your table, you got to consider it.
honestly, I'm more scared with a top 3 pick and making a mistake than a 7th, 8th, or 9th pick. I'm dead serious. Like,
yeah.
I think the draft is that good this year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for the draft too, man. I mean, I have to be excited for the draft. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to see what Perry and Mills can do. I think that they can. I think that Perry is an intelligent guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he is, and I think that he'll do what's right. I hope. You know what I'm saying? I hope, but I think he'll do what's right. I think he'll do whatever whatever's right for the team. You know, but
I believe so too.
You know, if we can, I mean, looking at it now, there was one time I didn't think it was going to be possible for us to move up in the tank standings, but the way I see it now, we've lost 17 and 18. We may not win again. We might move up into that top 5. We might.
Yeah, I think the most we can move up is like one more spot though, even losing out. Yeah, because there's 3 teams that's definitely not gonna get to 25 wins.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Some of them are just
not. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not to 25.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I think the most we can move up is like one more spot.
All right. So somebody asked me, says, Simeon, would you trade Frank for a top 10 pick? It depends on what that top 10 pick is, man. If it's top 5, yes, I would.
If it's this year, I'd do it.
You know, if it's top 5, for me, if it's top 5, I would definitely trade him. If you're talking about maybe I don't know, maybe if it's top 7. If you talk about 7 through 10, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But if it's top 5, I definitely would. You would have to, because you don't know what Frank is going to be still. Even though I think he's going to be very good, you still don't know what he's going to be. And you won't know what this draft pick coming in is going to be. So you're kind of on equal footing. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of on equal footing.
Yeah.
Like if you have a player that you know, like, for example, if someone says, would you trade KP for a top 5? You'd be like, no, because you know what KP is. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what the draft pick is going to be, but you know what KP is right now. He's been in the league for 3 years. You kind of know what he is. You know.
Yeah, I would need 2 first-round picks. I would need like a Boston type, you know what I mean? Like back-to-back lottery type picks.
You know, but with Frank, you don't know what he is. But this would be the scary thing with me about Frank is it's usually hard to get a defensive player, and especially guards. Mm-hmm. Defensive guards are even harder to come by. It's tougher to come by a defensive guard than it is a defensive big man. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be afraid that then we bring in a guard that maybe can play some offense, but then can't play a look of defense. Mm-hmm. I'd be afraid of that, because one of the Achilles heels that we've had from the beginning, I don't know, for a while, is not being able to stop guards at the point of attack. And we finally have a guard now that really can play defense on these other guards. I mean, I was watching Frank while he was in the game tonight, chase Ben Simmons around, dodging and dipping screens. I've never seen a player dodge screens the way that Frank dodges screens. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he's able to dodge screens and move. I mean, it's like he got the screen. Yeah, it's like he got a screen dodger badge from 2K. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he dipped to, I haven't seen guards be able to do it like that. You know what I mean? So that'd be tough. But I would really, really consider it. If it was a top 5 pick, I would definitely consider it. Real, think about it real hard.
Yeah. I can't see no team wanting him that bad off of what he's shown so far. Like they would be going straight off potential.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like what's his name? Rick Carlisle, right? He said he would love to have Frank. He did. He said he'd love to have Frank and Dennis Smith Jr. because he think they'd be a perfect complement for each other. I think there's some teams out there that would like to have Frank. I don't know, because of his production, they probably wouldn't give up a first round draft pick until they see him.
That's what I mean. They would be banking it on his potential,
right?
Because not even saying he hasn't shown enough. He hasn't played enough, so he hasn't even been allowed to you know what I mean, to show what he can do.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he should be getting 30 minutes a game from here on out. But he's, so. But
yeah, just to check in. Yo, Black, it's time.
All right,
Shout
bro.
out to the chat.
Appreciate it, man.
When's the next game?
We play Saturday night.
Oh, good. It's a night game. I'll check in.
Yeah. All right, man. All right. Peace out, bro. All right. Yeah. Speaking of Frank, speaking about future point guards and draft picks and all that good stuff, transformative development. According to well, it's been all over the place. It's been on Yahoo, it's been in the Daily News, it's been everywhere. According to these folks, Craig Robinson, who is the brother of Michelle Obama, brother-in-law of Barack Obama, says that the New York Knicks have a transformative developmental system, a system that he feels could transform the way that teams or the way that the industry looks at the way that they develop players. I really, really hope it's true. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that is true, because we desperately need to be able to develop our players. We need to be able to develop our players because, going forward, you're not always going to have the money to bring in players and with some of the salary cap issues we have when you talk about Joakim Noah and stuff well, it's really just Joakim Noah. You need to develop your players in order to be able to be productive. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. But, we got, I believe, who I got on the line? Emmanuel?
Yeah.
What's popping, bro?
What's good?
What do you think about this, what Craig Robinson is saying?
First off, yeah, let me hit on that. Craig, I don't really care much for what he has to say. A lot of, I think it's just overhyped because he's related to the Obama administration or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he could talk whatever he want to talk. I'm not seeing it. If his development was so good, then why it hasn't come to fruition now or yet? I haven't seen much from his developmental staff. And also another thing is that they're talking about Obama's a Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. I don't care if he's a Knicks fan. His brother-in-law is coaching, is a part of the Knicks organization. What do you expect for him to say?
Right.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect for him to say? Of course he's gonna say that. Yeah. He was a fan of wherever he was at before too. So you're gonna ride with family. So of course he's watching what the Knicks are doing because he's watching what his brother-in-law is doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
The one thing I would say, because I believe that Craig Robinson is also in charge of the Westchester team, and they brought in some players this year. As a matter of fact, their whole starting five.
They got a deal. I know
is in the league. Got a deal in the league, or Luke Cornett and Isaiah Hicks. They're two-way players, so they don't really have contracts in the league besides being a two-way player. But Xavier, Rathan Mays, Nigel Hayes, Trey Burke, all got contracts in the league. I don't know how much, or how everything is ran down there with the Westchester Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever they doing, they need to bring that up here.
But I think Craig Robinson is a big part of it. I think that I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it. But did he take over for Allen Houston?
Nah, Allen Houston's still in charge.
But he's doing something with the Westchester Knicks. I'm not exactly sure.
Man, listen, his name just came out because he's related to the Obamas. Until I see him put in work, or I see him do something that's noticeable, then I'll jump on the bandwagon. Until then, he's gonna have to earn my respect. Cause
I feel you.
Yeah, but as we talking about development, I was listening to the I Am Rappaport podcast this morning. I don't know if you. The only reason why I was listening to it because it was Fizdale, and I seen his name floating around, and he's a coach that's on the market.
Right.
After I read a Mark Jackson article, I sent it to you on Twitter. I don't know if you ever got to it.
I think I seen it. Yeah.
Which basically details his falling out with Golden State, all the problems that he had as a player and then as a coach, and why he was ousted as a coach. I do not want him as a Knicks head coach. He's a hard-headed dude that basically if he doesn't get his way or things aren't working his way, he starts to get dudes to rebel, and he's like a cancer to the locker room. And that's what was happening in Golden State, and they had to get him out of there because he had that locker room. It wasn't a good situation for them, so they had to get him out of there. And then I went and I started listening to the I Am Rappaport stereo podcast, and I was listening to Fizdale. And the reason why I think Fizdale will probably fit with Perry is because Fizdale, he's watching a lot of tape defensively. And especially he's been studying on the Detroit Pistons, that winning championship team that Perry was a part of. He also teaches. He was talking about how he teaches finishing at the basket. And let me ask you a question: who do you think needs help finishing at the basket out of our point guards?
Well, shoot, I mean, Moody definitely needs help finishing at the basket.
Exactly. So he's a developmental guy also. He was talking about how he's with the Knicks. I mean, when he was with the Heat, he was doing developmental things. He was doing workout drills with the big three, and how if you take some time out and you listen to it, it's a great interview, and you'll be like, yo, this is the dude that we really need. I feel like the Knicks should definitely consider it. I don't know if that was a seed that he planted, knowing that, Michael Rappaport is a New York guy. He probably gonna get New York dudes to listen to it or whatever. But it was a good conversation, and I feel like, he probably could come in, and he's respected around the league. You know what I'm saying? He's liked around the league.
Oh yeah, for sure he is.
And that attracts players as well. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not take a look at him? Because Hornacek right now, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's like, he has like, he's legally blind. He's not blind completely, but this nigga, his vision is blurry as fuck.
Who?
Hornacek.
Oh.
When it comes to, he's squinting, and it's like he's playing musical chairs. He's squinting, and he's like, I'm picking this guy. Like, come off the bench. Like, he doesn't know what he's really doing out there. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like Fizdale should come in, and he should be at least considered for the job. And also about Trae Young, I think he's overrated. Slightly overrated, bro. Because I remember earlier when Oklahoma was struggling after they had their hot start, they was talking about how he's a ball hog. He doesn't look to pass his teammates. There was a game he put up like almost 40 shots, and I don't want to hear about he's playing with scrubs. First of all, you're a point guard. You're supposed to be finding ways to move that basketball, not putting up 40 shots. You feel me? So I don't really know. I'm not too high on that. So That's not for me. I feel like we need to get a small forward. I'm
Yeah.
still with, and look at oh yeah, this is what the one I wanted to get at you about. Frank, you giving up on Frank, bro?
No,
You
never.
get, you sounded like you was giving up on Frank. Talk about you trade Frank.
Someone asked me would I trade him for would I trade him
Yeah.
would I trade him for a pick, and I said if it's top 5, I would consider trading him for
So
a
you
top
have
5
doubts.
pick.
So you
I would
starting to have
consider
your
trading him.
so you starting
You know
to have
what
your
I'm saying?
doubts about Frank.
I don't have my doubts about him. I think he's going to be a good player in the NBA, but I would definitely consider the trade,
Hey, look,
especially if it was a top 3 pick, and we still have our if someone offered a top 3 pick and we still get to keep our 8 pick, I would highly consider it. But then, like I said, I'd be afraid that then we don't get we get another point guard back that is not a defensive player, because it's so hard to come by defensive wings or defensive guards in the league.
hey, get that out your mind. You're not getting a one
You know
or
what
a
I'm
second
saying?
pick for Frank. You feel me?
Oh, I know that. I mean, it
You
was just
probably-
hypothetical. I know that.
The best you could get.
Not with his production this year.
Exactly. So
Not with his production this year.
yo, but I'm surprised in Frank though. He has a lot of yo. He's a quiet, sneaky. He's a sneaky dude that knows that's starting to pick up a lot of New York slang.
Uh-huh.
I was scrolling through his Twitter or whatever. This dude is putting people onto power, this and that and the third. I'm like, yo,
Word.
Frankenstein. Yeah, he's starting to catch on. I'm like, yo, don't sleep on the kid, man. He's gonna end up doing a little Porzingis, and then he got Carlo Quinn there.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, yeah, I'm like, yo, all he needs to do is get that aggressiveness. His shots is not falling. He has a pretty jumper. It's just a little slow. His
Just
shots
a little,
are not falling.
yeah.
He has
Yeah.
that little burst of speed that comes out every once in a while. He's starting to get people with that little hezzy move that he got. That little hesitation.
He
move
did
that
it tonight. He did it tonight.
Yeah, man, that little
He did it
hezzy that he
tonight.
got. That little hezzy that he got. It's kind of like James Harden-ish. Like, you notice, like James Harden plays at his own pace, but then 1 second to the next is like boom, he comes
Yeah.
and he gets to the back. Frank
Yeah.
kind of got that change of gear in some sense. But I'm telling you, and he just grew an inch, and he's only 19, so he could possibly
he grew an inch.
Yeah, he possibly could go an inch or two more. So you probably don't even have to worry about him being the point guard of the future, possibly later on. But right, you could play him anywhere from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
To be real, and that's
Yeah.
and that's something that people should look at and be like, yo, you know what? That's valuable.
Right.
Yeah, his defense is there. He plays 1 to 3. He could play 1 to 3. You said that he was guarding Simmons today, right?
Yeah. He was guarding Simmons today. He was guarding Simmons.
Simmons is 6'10".
6'10". And he did a good job guarding him too.
Yeah, so look, he's guarding everything from JJ Barea, that's like 5'10" to 6'10".
Right.
Come on, that's valuable in this league, bro.
Yeah,
the only
it
thing
is.
is that he just need to get the scoring to come through, and he'll be straight.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let you
man.
go, cause
All right, bro. Great call,
All right.
man.
All right, no
I
doubt.
appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Yeah. So getting back to, we were talking a little bit about development and transformative development. Craig Robinson. And he's definitely not the general manager of the Knicks. I mean, of the Westchester Knicks. Allen Houston is still the general manager, but he was brought in to be part of the G League operations and player development for the G League. And the G League has, well, not the G League, but the players from the G League, obviously they fared pretty well. You know what I mean? So we'll see what he can do. Basically, when we're talking about Craig Robinson, he's saying he has this innovative system that, let's see if I can, find it up here. An innovative system that he likens to Google or Nike, you know, on how they do things with their staff development. We'll see how that works out. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you know, he says he doesn't want to divulge what it is because he doesn't want to give up the secret sauce. You know, he doesn't want to give up his secrets or any tricks that he has right now. But I guess basically what he was saying is that it's player development from not just a small group of people, but throughout the entire organization. You know, so I'm trying to see and understand how that would work. You know, but and I guess it's, you know, maybe throughout, you know, I've seen places where you're trying to teach a certain concept, and those concepts include different kind of keywords. And so businesses place those keywords throughout the halls of their building so that you get visual cues and reminders of those keywords, you know, and you're constantly learning and developing throughout even the day. So maybe I'm picturing something like that, where, you know, if you know Frank needs to go to the basket and needs to be more aggressive, whenever he's in the building, wherever he goes, and somebody speaks to Frank, they're talking about ways to be aggressive. I don't know. I'm just being hypothetical here, you know, but maybe it's something like that. You know, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But clearly, Craig Robinson, thinks that he has a system that is going to be innovative or could be innovative. So I let you take a look at this quote here. He says, rather than say it's sort of a college style, it's more innovative. He said, it's just, I guess you can say it's a college style, but these guys are grown-ups. They don't live together. It's really different from being in college. We have these team building exercises, but it's more like working in a corporation that's forward thinking. But if you look at a company like Nike, there's a lot of collaboration going on and a lot of internal development going on, so you grow your own leaders. I think you could say it's more something like a Nike or a Google than it is a college. It sounds interesting, and I'd like to see exactly what it is, and if it's, you know, is it just he's just talking, or do you really have something written down and you're saying, this is what we're doing, here's our plan? I'd like to see really what that master plan is, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's like that, you know, and, you know, I guess we'll find out in the years to come if this so-called transformative development plan is true to what he says it is. You know, let's hope so, because we clearly need some player development and need some guys who are going to develop. And I hope that development plan includes bringing in coaches that can develop, because I'm not sure if we have those guys that can develop players, you know. So hopefully that's what it would include, that, you know. My man Ronald Cleveland, what's popping, bro?
Man, Simon, you can hear me?
I can hear you, man.
Man, Knicks family, man, the chat, what's up? As always, man, got love for y'all. You know, I'm reading some of the stuff these guys posting about Frank, and I'm on defending to the death of me. And the last caller, he actually stole a little bit of my thunder.
Okay.
Because that was one thing that I thought about with Frank. I saw the article today where they said that he has actually grown an inch, and he's going to grow another inch. That's what they're stating. So when you look at the guy's skill set, his ability to pass the ball, that can never be stated enough. And I heard what you were saying about how his dodging of those screens, and I watch him. The thing people got to remember, man, how long has it been since the Knicks had a on-the-ball defender from the point guard position?
Right.
I mean, you
Right.
can't undersell that. If you got a point guard that can disrupt other point guards, that's going to take them longer to get into their offense. It's going to put pressure on the offensive team that you're playing against. You can't undersell that. And Jeff Hornacek tonight, man, it really disgusted me when I looked at what he did, man. That the Knicks were supposed to win this game tonight. There's no excuse for losing this game tonight. I don't even put it on the players because I watched the whole game and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing what I want to see. A lot of defensive intensity, a lot of effort. You can't coach effort. Effort is something somebody wants. It's like you looked at the team, and I saw the articles leading up to this game. Mm-hmm. The Knicks remembered how they lost that last game, and they were talking about it. And you could see it in how they came out and played the whole game. But what Jeff did is he pulled those guys out, and then he bring in the guys that can't play defense.
Right.
As was stated earlier, Enes Kanter, I love him, but if KP ain't in the game with him, he's in trouble because you need somebody that can protect the rim. And all these people talking about Trae Young. Trae Young, yeah, he's a good player. But you know what I see when I see Trae Young?
What's
when
that?
LeBron start hyping up a player, what LeBron has done. Remember what he did with Napier? He told Miami, hey, go get Napier.
Right.
And
I
what
remember
did
that.
he do?
Right.
I mean, he left Miami. And man, if you remember, Napier took LeBron off his. He was following LeBron. He stopped following LeBron behind that. Because he thought he was going to play with LeBron. Trae Young is Napier 2.0. That's what I see when I look at him. And the thing is, when you're
Napier,
building a team,
you say it's Napier 2.0.
Yeah, he's Napier 2.0, man. That's what he is. That's what he is. And Simeon, you know the game of basketball, man. We've started in an era with this game, the way we're looking. You know, you get KP, that was a blessing. You know, he fell to us. So now you keep building in that area rather.
Right.
So now we need to go ahead and get us a small forward. We got our backup in Troy Williams. You see what I'm saying? So you keep building that front court. And I'm not trading Frank for nobody because we're going to trade. If we trade that kid, we're going to be sorry. I'm telling you, we're going to be mad as Knicks fans. If we trade that guy, we're going to be real upset. And just looking at this game tonight, man, it's just apparent. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to Jeff Hornacek. It reminds me of what happened with the GM for the Sixers. Yeah, you can get a mandate from the front office and say, hey, go ahead, let's lose. Let's lose games. Go ahead and tank. Guess what? Your behind ain't going to be around to be coaching the team. Just like the GM they had, he ain't going to be around to oversee the team. Because the fans not want to see that again next year. Jeff is not going to be the coach next year. There's no way in the world they can sell that to the fans. And another thing, if they go ahead and keep him next year, they're going to be on the hot seat. They're going to be on the hot seat. Jeff is not showing me nothing, and it's really crazy to me because I look at the kid, man. I remember him as a ball player, and I bashed him the other night, rightfully so. But the guy that coached him, Jerry Sloan, was a no-nonsense guy, and it was a great coach. And I'm like, what did you learn from this guy? Because what I'm seeing in your coaching style is nothing like what Jerry Sloan used to do. And
I agree with you.
And Jordan, the only reason why Stockton and Malone don't have a couple titles right now, because that's the closest thing out west that could have beaten Jordan when Jordan was in his heyday, winning those titles.
Let me ask you this. In fairness to Jeff Hornacek, how much is his incompetence due to the lack of ball players on the roster and the fact that there's not, with the team that we have now, there's not much rhyme or reason going on, right? So there's a lot of players that are ill-fitting. You got players that know that they don't have a long-term destiny with the Knicks, so they may not play the way that they should play. How much of his ineptitude is due to just a bad roster?
I think if you're looking at it percentage-wise, bad roster-wise, I would say at least 60 to 70% is the roster. I think 60 to 70% is the roster. But when you're in a position to win the game and you see what's working, you don't change that. You don't break something that ain't broken. And tonight in particular, watching that game, man, I got disgusted near the end. I was like, you guys should be kidding. I knew we were gonna lose the game. When he put Enes Kanter, not just Kanter, because I love Kanter's game, but when he brought the whole lineup that he brought in that wasn't winning the game, didn't bring the same defensive intensity, because near the end, you can see the minute Philly took that lead, the body language looked terrible. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. We're going to lose this game. And I agree with the callers earlier, man. We don't scare nobody. We don't scare nobody, and that's to your point of what you're asking me. We don't have the players that really fit the team and the concept of NBA players. A lot of these guys wouldn't even be in the league, man. Let's just be real. A lot of these guys, Isaiah Hicks, I'm a beloved Tar Heels fan. I remember him being on the Tar Heels. I felt like he left school too early. And I don't see no development between the time that he left college to playing in the D-League. I still see the same player. You know what I mean? Okay. But the other guys, your boy Beasley played his butt off tonight. I give him his credit. But when I look at the team, man, it's a lot of uncertainty. And it's just, there's no cohesiveness. And it's reason because you keep changing the lineup. If you look at every game, I guarantee you, every game that we've had this year, Jeff has not stick with the same lineup that's coming in to replace the starters.
No, he has.
And you're not going to have cohesiveness like that. You're not going to be – it's like me trying to go out on a date. And the young lady I'm dating, if every time I go out on a date with her, she's just changing up on me every time I come to see her, we want to do this, we're going to do this, I don't know what to think. Right. And those players look lost. Like they're going out on a date with a woman that's changing the way she's thinking every night.
And listen, I agree with you 100%. Right? I agree with you 100%.
There's too much thinking and not enough playing.
And some of it, I'm going to say maybe is due to, you know, when you have a roster of players that are all kind of equal, they're still not good enough to get you to, you know, a certain level, to be a certain level of team. But they're all kind of equal. You may not know exactly who to play. So that's you know, that's some of it. But I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for Jeff, though.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know, not trying to be, because that's the coach's job. You know, it's the coach's job to figure out, you know, who's going to produce for you. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to produce for you? But hey, Ronald, man, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, man. But the last thing I wanted to say to you, Simeon, before I get off this call, man, I want the people in the chat to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, KP, man, I really feel Clyde talked about it tonight. The fact that KP know the right words to say. Right. KP is going to be a good recruiter for the Knicks, man. Don't get it twisted. Anybody in the chat room, hey, KP will bring players to New York to play with him. Okay. And the fact that he's talking right now, it bodes well. And I'm thinking the kid is going to stick with the Knicks long term. And I think eventually his time with his brother, that KP ain't stupid. He's going to have to let his brother go to the side. You know what I mean? He's going to have to move on. It's only so far that his brother can take him. His brother don't know the NBA game so far as the United States side of it, on how to play, on how players play here.
Right.
And he's going to eventually have to move on from him. It's only so far he can take him.
That might be. And hey, let's hope that KP is a recruiter. You know what I'm saying? I think he does. I think people like him around the league, and he's gained some respect around the league.
They love the kid.
So, you know, hopefully he's that recruiter that we need. Still, even if someone is the greatest recruiter in the world, they still want to see that the organization is on the right track. You've got strong management, those type of things, you know.
And that's why that's why Jeff got to go. He's going to go because of that. They're going to have to get a coach. And Fizdale, I'm not messing with Fizdale neither, because with the fact that he's under that Pat Riley tree, LeBron done endorse him, D-Wade done endorse him. You know what I mean? He's well-liked. That's Jeff is going to be gone, man. We're going to have a new coach next year.
Okay.
Yeah, but man,
right, bro.
Hey, Keep doing what you're doing. What's up to the chat for the night? And the Knicks, you know my saying, baby, we'll be back.
All right, appreciate it, bro. Thank you for the call, man.
All right.
All right, peace out, brother. I want to, before I move on to the next topic, I want to give a big shout out to Siobhan Robinson. I didn't get to catch this earlier. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. He said, I'm going from door to door to spread the gospel of the Tank. Have you accepted the Tank as your Lord and Savior? I don't even know what to say to that one, man. I mean, we tanking. I guess I have to accept the Tank, man. I guess I have to. You know what I mean? And then Marty Knicks, big shout out to my man Nadi with the big super chat. I got to get with Lily and I got to get to Marty. Thank you for the big super chat. But, yo, I'm going to get to everybody, though, because Siobhan, over time, has hit me up time and time again. I really, really, really appreciate that. So I want to get with Siobhan personally and give you a personal thanks. French Unicorn. I'm going to eventually get to everybody personally because I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But Marty hit me with the big super chat. And you say, shout out to the French Unicorn. I know you'll watch this tomorrow. I love this caller, Ronald, the second host of NBK. Oh, shoot. Oh, snap. You heard that, Ronald. You know what I'm saying? But everybody that calls in, man, I love everybody's, everybody has good, a lot of knowledge about the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of knowledge about the Knicks. Sometimes we have different opinions, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's what it is. March Madness. March Madness started today. And I was busy running around talking to, doing some things that I had to do, you know what I mean? But so I didn't get a chance to really just sit and watch the games. I'm going to check out some tonight if they're still on. But March Madness is here. And some of the players that we have the possibility of drafting are obviously playing. And of course, with March Madness, there's always going to be upsets. There's going to be things going on. So I wanted to jump in and take a look at the brackets. I don't know if you guys did any brackets. I didn't really do a bracket this year. Although we, with my basketball team, we're doing a bracket. We did a bracket as a fundraiser. But let's take a look, man. Let's just jump in here real quick. You can see the, you can see what's on your screen. You see the brackets up on the screen. So far today, Kentucky beat Davidson. Buffalo beat Arizona. Big upset there. 13th seed beating the 14th seed. Loyola beat Miami of Florida. That's a little bit of an upset. Right? Tennessee took out Wright State. Villanova with our guy Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges had like 13 points. They took out Alabama. They took out Radford. They played Alabama in the next round. I had a kid that I coached that went to Radford for a couple of years. But he was like 6'8". He was a good ball player. Alabama took out Virginia Tech. You got right now, Florida is taking out St. Bonaventure. Close buddy of mine went to St. Bonaventure. He was a baller too. He ended up going over to Germany and played. Texas Tech took out, I don't even know what SFA is. I have to click on it to find out. Yep, Kansas beat Penn. Ohio State beat South Dakota as expected. Gonzaga beat UNCG as expected, although the game looked a little bit tighter than it should have been. Houston beat San Diego State. Michigan beat Montana. Duke took out Iona. And they played Rhode Island in the next round as Rhode Island beat Trae Young in Oklahoma. the Sooners. So here we go. Seton Hall, they beat NC State. And we already mentioned Kansas and Penn. Let's take a look at Villanova. And our boy Mikal Bridges, who looks likely he could be a Knick. We take a look at the tail of the game and see what Mikal Bridges did. Like I said, I think he hit 13 points tonight. Mikal Bridges, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. But Villanova took care of Radford. We check out some of these highlights as we're talking. And, I will explain a little bit. I mean, we've talked about it. I do think that the Knicks, if they stay in this 8th or 9th spot, I think that the Knicks should go ahead and take Mikal Bridges. I think that Bridges will be a good fit for the New York Knicks, because he is, of course, he's that 3-man that we need. He can shoot the 3, he can play defense. He's a little bit more mature in his game. I like the fact that he's a junior. Not that I have anything against guys who are younger than being a junior. Not that I have anything against that, but I do like the fact that he's older, because that means he's going to be a little bit more mature coming into the NBA. And he fits Porzingis' timeline, as we discussed a little bit earlier. He fit Porzingis' timeline a little bit better. And a little bit more of what you're going to get. It's still going to be a chance, but a little bit more of what you're going to get. And that is always, it's always good to be secure and know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Well, with these young guys coming into the league today, they're so young, you don't know how their body's going to develop or what they're going to be. And that makes it kind of tough. You're really, truly drafting on potential alone. You know what I'm saying? Alwyn, you say draft best available, not fit, please. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really think that we need someone in that small forward spot. I think we have a young guy, or I guess young guys that we want to try to develop at the point guard spot. We have a shooting guard in Tim Hardaway, and I think we're playing small with Tim Hardaway at the 3. I think sometimes that hurts us. I think the longer you are, the better the better defensive team you can be. So I think we need a legitimate size 3-man. Unless something amazing drops down, what do you expect is going to be more talented than Bridges at where we are right now? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be more talented and be a better player than Bridges at if we're at this 8th spot? So I don't know. I think at the position that we're at, where we're drafting, I think we'll be able to draft for best fit as well as talent at the same time, because I think the best fit is probably going to be the most talented at that spot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody has their own philosophy on how to do it. You know what I mean? I get it, but I'd like to see us go ahead and take a 3-man, because I think that's where we need to be. But everybody has their own way to do it, and that's the reason why we have different styles of play in the NBA, because everyone has a different way to do it. But there's a lot of talent in this draft, and we're going to be able to find somebody good And you know what, too? I think a lot may shake out days leading up to the draft. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if when you can begin trading. I think it's right after the finals. You can begin trading. So some things could happen before the draft that's going to dictate how we draft. Who knows? You know, it's entirely possible that some things could happen beforehand. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But, you know, now that we're in this 8th spot, it's entirely plausible that we can move up to the 7th and maybe even the 6th. And so maybe there's some big guys out there that we want to look at. So let's take a look at, you know, we were just looking at Duke. Well, we were just looking at the bracket, and we seen, you know, Duke is on a bracket. So, you know, let's take a look at Duke, because maybe it's possible that Bagley is in our range now that we've moved up in the tank standings. You know, it's plausible. It's possible. He had 22 points, 7 rebounds. You know, and hey, with where we are right now, who knows what could happen and where we could be. You know what I'm saying? A lot. Now, we could take a Mamba, right? Because we are in need of a defensive center. And, you know, you can see tonight that we don't have guys that can handle these talented big men. So we do need some talent there as well. You know. And you look at here, Duke, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to do against a team like Iona. And an organization like Duke, you'd be surprised if they didn't. I guess they've been surprised before. We were surprised when they lost to St. John's. But St. John's always finds a way to beat Duke, don't they? Always finds a way to beat Duke. You know, but Duke guys, though, historically haven't always been the biggest stars in the NBA. I mean, they've been good, but I don't know what it is. You know, they haven't been, you know, Duke is always really, really good, but there haven't been guys coming into the league haven't always been the stars that you thought maybe they would be. I don't know if it's because, you know, they fit into a system, or if it's because who knows what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when you got Coach K, you know, what you're going to do, you know, Coach K is always going to put a great team out there on the field. I mean, on the court, you know what I'm saying? But it is entirely plausible right now that someone like a Bagley is available to us now that we are in that eighth seed, but, you know, in that 8th slot and moving up. It's entirely plausible. You know what I'm saying? And I guess we'll just see what happens in the league. We'll just see what happens come draft time. You know, we'll see what happens come draft time. You know, now I want to ask you, anyone here, are you good at drawing up things like a draft board? Because I want to put together a draft board, like I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that skill, have that talent, hit me up so we can talk about how to do this, so we can develop ourselves a little draft board that we follow. You know what I'm saying? Tony Crow, you're right. You said Duke bigs haven't translated into the NBA. And it's not just Duke bigs either. You know what I'm saying? All Duke players haven't always translated to the NBA. Like we said, we don't know exactly what it is. But, you know, Marvin Bagley, you know, he's a good ball player. He's nice. Maybe he'll translate to the NBA, maybe not. You know, but, you know, that's another, you know, that's another talented player that may be now in our range. since we moved up. 6'11", 7-foot wingspan, 235 pounds. He's a power forward. We don't really need a power forward. But I don't know is he truly a power forward, or is he going to grow to be a big? He's 19 years old. I mean, is he going to grow to be a center? He's 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? He could grow to be a center. Could end up being a center in the league. He can grow more. 19. Who knows? Of course, now, you talk about we could get Mo Bamba. Based on our draft position, our possible draft position. And I wouldn't be upset at that, although I still believe we need a wing more, but I wouldn't be upset with it. Especially, well, and we don't know, you know what I'm saying? But if for whatever reason Cantor opts out, then you got a nice center in there that's athletic, can play some defense. But and then even if Cantor doesn't opt out this year, next year he's a free agent, and if you had someone like a Mo Bamba, then you probably you surely wouldn't bring Cantor back, and then you'd have that $18 million that you could spend elsewhere. That's a thought when you're looking at future salary cap issues and those type of things. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a thought that we'd have to consider and put into mind. You draft someone like Mo Bamba, he plays, maybe ahead of Cantor, but if not, then behind Cantor for a year. And then when Cantor's contract is gone, you got a starting center at a very low cost, and you got $18 million freed up to add other pieces. All things that we got to think about, Scott Perry has to think about as we're moving forward and into the offseason and making decisions, drafting decisions and everything. But March Madness is here. We're going to get to learn a whole lot about players that we could possibly draft. March Madness makes, players, they make their name and they move up or down. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes your draft position is made during March Madness. You know what I mean? Elijah Moon, you say Marty put some respect on his name. He donated $50 of his hard-earned money to this great channel. I'll donate when I can. Hey, listen. Everybody's out here grinding and working, man. I do this for the love of it, for sure. But I definitely appreciate any super chats that come in. And like I said before, all the money is going into continuing to build the channel. And not just the channel, but the community surrounding the channel. There are going to be things that I want to do later on in the future. Some live events where we can get together. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just putting all this money in the pot so that it can, I can grow it. And you all are going to be part of it. And, if it grows and grows and grows and continues to get big, you guys will definitely be a part of anything that goes on. So, for sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and everything. But, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. I love you anyway. And I welcome you and want you on here anyway. That's for sure. Rito, you say, if we get Mamba, we may play him at shooting guard position behind Tim Hardaway. That's how much trust I got in this organization. Hey, you never know. We never know. J Bone. Appreciate that, brother, for sure. For sure, that's what we're trying to do, but we're going to spread the love everywhere. But it's 12:13 a.m. Your clock might say something different. 12:14 a.m. might say something different. Maybe there's a little lag, I don't know. But, we are knee-deep in the March Madness. We're going to follow March Madness. We're going to follow the players that we think could be part of the Knicks. And now that this is a full focus of ours, do some research, man. Come into the chat with someone we can talk about as we begin to add people to the board. You know what I'm saying? And, we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it real fun. But I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, I'm going to have some sort of a board ready. I'm going to work on it for the next couple of days. We're going to have a board ready. And, we're going to have some fun with it. We're going to put together our little board and see what's going on with the Knicks. And we'll have a little breakdown of who can do what and why the Knicks might want to draft this person. And we'll follow our own board going into the draft. And then when draft night comes, we'll take a look at our board and see what we say. See what's popping with it. All right? I'm out. Tomorrow's Friday. You know what I'm saying? Go to work and then go home and rest. Take care, be ready to enjoy your weekend. All right? Peace. Peace, my people. Peace. If you enjoyed this live stream, please subscribe below. Ring the bell. You'll get a notification as soon as I go live. Check out these videos right there. Peace.